Now we're going to examine this supposed delayed rescue response and intelligence failure surrounding the Hamas attacks. Here with us live is John Mills, a retired colonel and a senior fellow with the Center for Security Policy. John, good morning. It is great to have you with us.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you.
So why did it take so long for forces to come in and rescue the people at the Supernova Festival? I mean, some were hiding for 7 hours.
Well, I think we have to look at the situation. It was radically different than any other situation Israel has faced. Yes, for decades they faced rockets across the border, starting at 6:30 approximately a.m. local time on Saturday. It was the largest barrage ever across the border, the most amount of rockets in the shortest amount of time ever. And the standard operating procedure was everybody shelter in place. Never has that been combined or been the covering fire for a ground assault through at least 15 break points. So there's at least 15 assault points that they pre-breached, pre-prepared, and came across the border within 2 hours. That was different. That's never happened before. So you had hundreds, thousands on foot, on motorcycles, in vehicles, come across, like in Sderot. It's a 4-minute jog, and you're inside of Sderot. So they overwhelmed, surprised, and even at Re'im at the festival, that's also the location of the Israeli command post for the entire sector. They assaulted the command post directly and jammed signals. This was very sophisticated, planned, and rehearsed.
Yeah, this type of well-coordinated attack can be very hard to respond to. Some say that the Israeli intelligence ignored warnings about this attack. Is that true? And if so, why would this happen?
Well, I don't know for sure. However, I can assure people that actually I've been in the room with Israelis and Egyptian Saudis, that they work very well together. So there's been this report that Egypt gave a warning. That is possible. That is possible. Was it ignored? That's possible too. I think one of the key questions for American intelligence is on the intelligence priority stack. The House and the Senate should immediately demand to know what was the U.S. intelligence priority stack as of last Thursday or the Thursday before the attack. And was all things Israel and Hamas above the cut line or below the cut line for collection and analysis and actioning?
Interesting perspective that you raised there. The National Security Advisor in Israel between 2011 and 2013 said that they made a huge mistake, that they believed a terror organization can change its DNA. So some say Israel had the wrong understanding of Hamas all over and it taking it to be irresponsible, and therefore it let its guard down. So can the nature of a terrorist organization change?
Well, I think in some ways, some were thinking this was an IRA situation in Ireland, that the troubles and the conflict was coming to an end. So that is one, I think possibly that might have been part of the calculus, was that there was a sense. But Hamas is a designated terrorist group. They clearly spent the last year what we call operational security and going low tech, staying off the internet, staying off the phone, doing all the caching of arms and ammunition and planning very face to face, verbally, not over the phone, not on the internet. And so it looks like they very effectively hid what their true agenda. And I think some were thinking maybe this is an IRA situation where it was time for negotiations, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and supposedly Israel believed that its economic incentives and also weighting the impact of the threat of military support had made Hamas lose its appetite for this type of attack. But how would a ground war be different from past incursions here?
This is going to be Fallujah on steroids. It's going to be bloody and messy. So the Israelis have to be very careful and deliberate. Now, I thought this is very important. They gave an evacuation guidance, and we have to always distinguish between the Palestinians and Hamas, two different groups. Hamas is a bloody terrorist group. Many Palestinians live under the bondage of this thuggish rule in the Gaza Strip. The Israelis are asking the civil population to move south, especially. There are open fields, open areas. Grab your tent and get out. And I think the UN very unwisely countermanded that, because the Hamas is going to use the civilian population as human shields. And I think they have to be very careful about this.